Welcome to a Coffee Talk with P3 special presentation. From now until September 19th, the Coffee Talk with P3 podcast is highlighting many of the theater and arts nonprofits participating in the Long Beach Gives Annual Day of Giving. Let's listen in to hear more from today's special guest.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk with P3. I'm John Peterson with P3 Theater Company, and I am here today with the lovely and talented Marcy Sudock of Musique Sur La Mer.
That's correct.
That's about as close as I can get to French.
That was very good. Well, it was as close as I got.
And I'm assuming because it's La Mer, that means the sea, and Musique Sur La Mer, so music by the sea?
Well, that was our intention.
Oh.
And I have been corrected many times. Musique Sur La Mer actually means music underwater, which is perfect for a nonprofit.
Or if you're Ariel.
That's true. However, I've only been corrected in the U.S. When we were in France, it was, Musique Sur La Mer transcends all continents, connected by the oceans. I go, that's exactly what we meant.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
Wow. So it's a multi-purpose name, if
Exactly.
you will. Very cool. Well, we are here to talk about you and your amazing organization and to make the community aware of what's going on that they may not know about.
Okay.
So let me think. So we have Musique Sur La Mer, we have Marcy Sudock. You existed before the company.
I did.
So how did you get involved in the arts?
Oh my gosh, it started Long Beach schools. Long Beach schools used to have a pull-out program during the day, and everybody was either in choir, in band, or in orchestra starting in the 4th grade.
Oh, wow.
And we were pulled out 3 times a week from our class to go be in choir, band, or orchestra and learn. A neighbor had a violin, so I was going to learn how to play the violin. I sounded terrible, and I knew the difference between good and terrible. I remember my teacher very, very well in that class. She would cringe, and at one point in the 4th grade, I stomped my foot in my bedroom while practicing and said, I quit. And my mom said, you could quit anytime you want. And then quietly outside my door, I heard her say, I didn't know I raised a quitter. Oh, those are fighting words.
Oh.
I yelled out there going, I'm not a quitter. And my mom said, so what do you want to do? She knew me well. I said, I'm going to practice a lot. And I'm going to practice till I get so good that I am stopping because I've accomplished it. She said, okay. Well, eventually Mary Had a Little Lamb actually sounded like that, and the stars did twinkle and twinkle, 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 little star. And by middle school, they had multi-levels of orchestra. There was beginning, intermediate, and advanced. And my competitive spirit said, well, we're going to be in advanced. So I practiced even harder, became concert master, and then moved on to high school, and then got into all district orchestra, and all Southern, and all California. And at the same time, I was the reluctant musician. And going to college, I said, I'm going into medicine. But I kept taking more and more music classes. And the next thing you know, I am a performance major. I started at Long Beach City College, on to Cal State Long Beach. I'm a Long Beach girl. And I became a musician, and I love it. I'm a violinist, and I also teach violin, and I also coach violin in the schools. And then Musique Sur La Mer became an opportunity 25 years ago. I'll tell you.
25 years, you guys.
And this is our 25th anniversary.
Wow, yeah. Wow. Before we get into that, so they don't have programming like that anymore.
No.
What you became involved in and what kind of developed as your livelihood, your passion. And that's such a shame that they don't have those arts programs.
Well, they do have the arts programs, but they are not what they were. And when I started this 25 years ago, it was because I saw the dwindling in the programs. So to become a member of this fledgling group, you either had to be in a school music program, or if your school didn't have it, parents had to become advocates for music in the schools and for all the arts programs. And consequently, now every school in Long Beach and every school in Orange County has a music program.
Wow.
And they are thriving now.
That's great.
It's very exciting.
So it's making a comeback.
It is not only making a comeback, but it's flourishing.
That's great. I love that.
And we still require all of our students to be in their school music program.
I love it. I love it. Incidentally, like you started college saying you were going into medicine, I was going to be in the FBI.
Oh, good.
So I started as a criminology major and ended up a music major.
What's your instrument? Or voice?
Well, voice.
Voice.
Yeah, I went to a performing arts high school and was in because our church organist taught me organ. And then I switched to the piano, and then I got into a performing arts high school through piano. And it wasn't until my senior year that I started singing.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so I was a late bloomer. So if I had had those opportunities in my youth, it would have made a huge difference.
Well, Long Beach has always been noted for their intense commitment to the arts.
Mm-hmm.
And about 25, almost 30 years ago, things changed, and that was because of funding and making sure that everybody can have an equal shot.
Yeah.
And so things modified. But we, with Musique Sur La Mer, our emphasis is on high quality music education and excellence. Striving for excellence and finding that spark inside each individual that will enable them to find their path.
Wow. So how did you come from being, and it is maestro, correct? I think I read on when I was doing some research, which I love. It's better than doctor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I'll go with hey you. I'm fine with that.
I've been called worse. So where did the concept for an organization like Musique Sur La Mer come from?
Oh, this was interesting. This was not something I had intended. But let's see, now it was 28 years ago. I was in a tragic bowling accident.
Bowling?
Actually, non-bowling accident. I had just performed, it was an Easter morning, and I had performed Vaughan Williams' piece that was very difficult. And every time I perform, I always beat myself up. You know, I should have done this, I could have done this better, next time I'll do this. But I walked out of there going, that was not only fun, but that's the best I ever played. Oh, never again. We're never going to do that again. So it was my children, who were little at the time, said, we want to go bowling. I'm going, okay, well, I had just signed some major contracts, so I'm not bowling. Instead, I will keep score. Well, if I'm not bowling, guess what I'm not wearing on my feet?
Shoes.
Bowling shoes. And my then 4-year-old had the ball, and she rolled it down, I guess they call it an alley, and it got stuck about 3 feet above. And I went into mommy mode. And I went running out there, I'm gonna get that ball, not thinking, A, I'm not wearing shoes, bowling shoes, and B, nobody steps on the alley, it's oiled.
Right.
And I did a 360 and landed on my arm.
Oh.
And as it would happen, in the lane next to us, the young man who was bowling, who was a child, threw his ball and it jumped over the lane and smashed into my arm.
Oh my gosh.
It was apparently very funny because everybody was and laughing. I'm holding my arm, realizing I'm holding my arm but my hand's down here.
Ooh.
And fortunately the people we were with, he was a chief of staff at a major hospital, and I said, I think my arm is broken. He said, get in the car. We get there, they took an x-ray of my arm, and I said, just tell me it's a clean break, and in 8 weeks, everything's fine. He said, oh, no, why, what do you do? I go, I'm a concert violinist. When your x-ray technician starts to cry, you know you're in trouble. The next day I was in surgery, and I had pins in my arms to put the many thousands of little pieces that were there and the severed tendon pulled back into place. And I saw my career flash in front of me and thought, well, I've got a brilliant career as a rotisserie. Slap a chicken on either side of this arm and just kind of go like that. But I was determined to get back. So I worked my bow arm every day. I was going to be the queen of bowing technique. After a year of physical therapy for my arm, the therapist looks at me, she goes, "Congratulations, Mrs. Sudock. You can type." Guess what I said? Funny, I couldn't type before. And my daughter is a professional dancer and Pilates instructor, and I thought she can contort her body into positions that are not human. So I would heat up my arm, took a TheraBand, used my body and the door as a fulcrum until I could get my arm to turn into position again. After 2 years, I was back to playing.
Wow.
Well, at that 2-year point, I get a call from a colleague saying they're looking for a youth orchestra to perform in France. Do I have a youth orchestra? I said, yes. And invited all of my students and their parents and other friends' students to the house for coffee and cake, and said, in 9 weeks, we're going to France. Who's in? And I looked around going, none of these kids had played for maybe more than a year.
Oh my gosh.
But they were adorable.
Uh-huh.
And they worked really hard, and we had our concerts in France, including the first concert of the millennium at the Royal Cathedral in Monaco.
Oh, wow.
And something magical happened. They went from being cute, adorable kids with instruments to musicians, committed, realizing that they had the potential for excellence, realizing that they can have an impact.
Mm.
Well, one thing led to another, and we became a nonprofit through another nonprofit because we couldn't afford to become our own.
Sure.
And after about 10 years under the auspices of another nonprofit, we mutually agreed it was time to move on because ours had grown so much. It was overshadowing other programs, and it was time to part ways.
Mm-hmm.
We became our own nonprofit, and it has grown ever since. And it has gone from being one orchestra to 5 levels of orchestra. From being something that was specifically to enrich the lives of children and to increase enrollment in the music programs in schools, to being something that has become a charitable organization in and of itself, where all of our concerts benefit somebody else.
Oh my gosh.
So we have raised over 10,000 pounds of food for local food banks because we'll have a concert where we're collecting food. We have thousands of coats for the homeless because we had a concert that it'll cost you a coat to come in. A gently used coat. We raised thousands of pairs of socks for the homeless. We have sponsored sea animals in the Southern California Mammal Center that will sponsor, because we did one for that, and we did a concert to save the oceans and beach cleanup. We have, oh gosh, when we travel, because we travel biannually, we do the same thing for the world, and the impression that they have on Americans is that we are giving, we are generous, we are caring, and that music has no borders. It's an international language. So we did a reforestation project in Central America where we had planted over 200 trees for a reforestation project through our concerts. We have sponsored schools for the deaf in both Australia and in the US and in Costa Rica, where we played concerts for children who were profoundly deaf, no hearing, but they hung on to the instruments and felt music by vibration. And the joy,
mm-hmm.
both for the receiver and for the giver, was palpable. We have given instruments to impoverished areas, economically disadvantaged areas, I should say, where kids couldn't afford to be in music. And we've given lessons to kids who can't afford to take lessons, but deserve the same chance to excel and to experience this joy. We have sponsored kids with multiple varying abilities I know they call them disabilities, but it's varying abilities.
I like that.
And sponsored them to go to camp through a concert. When we were in London for the wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton, we were the American concert in tribute to for that wedding.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing. We played at the Royal College of Music in London, and we raised funds for the Soup Kitchen of London, raising enough funds. We don't collect the money. The other entities collect the money. We handle none of the money to feed the homeless in London for a year. Then we were invited back for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee for Queen Elizabeth II, where we raised funds through her charitable trust, through our concert, that sponsored children worldwide for medical assistance. We were just in London for the coronation of King Charles and Queen Camilla. And with that concert, one of King Charles's favorite charities is called Future Talent, that does what we do, but in London.
Oh, wow.
And so they were the beneficiaries of enough funds to sponsor their children for music education, scholastic education, and instruments. And that's the purpose of Musique Sur La Mer. So consequently, our students, they benefit with the music education, but they also realize the power and that they have to utilize the arts to the benefit of humanity.
Absolutely.
Because I look at this and I think, we may be remembered for our technological advances, but we're going to be treasured by what we have contributed to humanity through the arts. And the result is leadership, impact on the community for both the giver and the recipient, the listener and the performer. And it's been a complete joy. Wow.
It's a hard thing to do, but you've left me pretty speechless. Aside from all of the obvious benefits that happen because of Musique Sur La Mer, it's pretty clear what each of the organizations you do concerts to benefit for, what they get. But let's go back to the power that these musicians feel, what they're able to bring, and what are the age ranges of the
Our
musicians?
youngest thus far has been 7. And we say 7 to 18, but we have taken students as old as 24 if they're in college, and they need that extra support in there. And once they graduate high school, they become a life member.
Oh, wow.
So long as they're still playing, they're welcome to come back, and of course they have to go through all the fingerprinting and everything as soon as they're 18. Protects us, protects them. And we also have a community string orchestra for adults who want a place to express all of that music as well. So, and we're going to be starting an early childhood education program to get young children involved. But where that impact increases is a lot of those students are coming back over these past 25 years to play in our season finale to celebrate our 25th anniversary. But one of our students who wanted to start playing violin but started with another organization and they wouldn't let him in because he signed up late. I said, no, I'm going to give you some private lessons so you can catch up. He now has his doctorate in violin and teaches at the university level. Another student who came to me in the 4th grade who played beautifully but could not read music at all. I looked at her and I said, you have the most beautiful bow arm. Let me teach you how to read so that you can do this, that you can be a literate violinist as well. She is now a pediatric neurosurgeon and a world-class violinist, multi-Grammy Award winner.
Wow.
One of our students who started off with us in our initial year, she was 6 and could play only open strings. So we wrote a part for her that was open strings so that she could be in the orchestra.
Oh my gosh.
She has soloed with the LA Phil and is a world-class violinist. So, but expanding beyond that, we have students who have become, one who became a doctor, who works with AIDS patients in Africa, and she plays the cello when she's on the ward.
Oh my gosh.
So it becomes a life skill and a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what career path they take.
Absolutely. And getting to experience a program like this, an environment like this, really, at that age, where that's when you can mold them and make them who they will ultimately become as adults. And to have the opportunity to go to different cultures, different countries, witness challenges of different parts of the world, and know that they're making a difference for that.
Yep.
That is setting them up not only to be an amazing human being, but for success on so many levels.
Well, the greatest education anyone can have is travel.
Absolutely.
You find that we are more similar than dissimilar. Everybody wants a roof over their head, food in their belly, their child safe, and to have that security. And they all want to express in some way their creativity. So to that end, we have performed at the Sydney Opera House 3 times. We are regular in Australia, New Zealand, where we are. Musique Sur La Mer is now a member of a Maori tribe because we helped fund a Maori tribe through our concert.
Oh my gosh.
And that was so much fun. Just a little side note on that. The marae is the meeting house for the Maoris. And it tells the history of the Great Canoe, of when they came to New Zealand. And it's sung. And they sing the history to you. Well, we were to sing, all of a sudden, they want us to sing our history. Well, these are instrumentalists. And they're teenagers, for the most part, when we travel. So we sang some patriotic songs, but I got them going. And then they wanted our leader to, they said, our chief, to tell the history of the U.S. And so I went to the leader had to be male. So I had my husband do it. And one of the kids go, wow, she's going to let him be the leader this time, right? I said, take your moment, darling. But it was incredibly powerful, and their student body from the Marae did the haka, which is the greeting, and it used to be the war chant, but it was also a welcome and a celebratory. It was incredible. Wow. We have performed in Germany, Austria, Czech Republic, Costa Rica, France, England, Wales, and I'm probably forgetting, and all over the U.S. But most of our concerts are right here in Long Beach.
And all because of a trip to Paris.
And
who knew?
Who knew? Who knew? It's been quite a journey. And it wasn't something that was intended to be more than a stopgap measure to get music back into the schools. And here we are 25 years later celebrating incredible success and an amazing impact.
Amazing impact. I literally am still mostly speechless. I'm like, good, keep talking, because I've got...
And one of the benefits, we help here in Long Beach specifically with the one warm coat, for the socks, for the food, but also for Miller Children's Hospital. We have performed concerts for the children who are in the hospital and their families. And one of the letters that we received from a parent was their child was long-term in the hospital. She said, this is the first normal day I have felt the whole time. My child was normal. My child was included. Her child actually held my hand the whole time I conducted, wanted to be by my side. We've also helped raise funds for Bucket List. You know what? Everybody knows about Make-A-Wish, where there are adults who are helping children have their wishes because they have a terminal illness.
Right.
Well, what about adults who are facing the end of life? Bucket List through Long Beach Memorial Hospital has this thing called Bucket List for people who are at the end of their life to meet their wishes. Maybe it's seeing the relatives that are on the East Coast who need to be flown out but they can't. Or maybe it's having a party or having their hair done or whatever it is. And Musique Sur La Mer donates their time to perform for Bucket List, so that they've raised over $80,000, and it was an honor to be a part of that as well. So Long Beach is our home.
Absolutely.
But so is the world.
Mm-hmm. And you're making a difference all over it, which is incredible.
We try, and I love seeing these kids grow up realizing community service is not something you do, it's something you are. And it becomes part of their life. As a matter of fact, my CPA was a violinist in our orchestra.
I love it. I love it.
And still plays. One of our students who was a percussionist went ahead and is living in Central California and has sustainable farms that are specifically for feeding people who are food deprived.
Wow.
Yeah.
This education, if you will, this experience they're getting to have, it's how they're living their lives now, which truly is the definition of a nonprofit.
Without question. It's creating not only a culture of art, creating a culture of music, but it's creating a culture of giving. That it's not something that you do for yourself for reward. You do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's just part of what we do.
Wow. Wow. So you mentioned to me before we were on the air that and maybe you mentioned on here too, but your concerts are all free, except with the exception of the season finale.
Correct.
So you've got all these trips that you're taking all over the world. You've got operations costs. You've got insurance you have to have. You have the list just goes on and on. I'm sure that you don't want me to continue because
and more than 80% of our kids who are in the orchestra are on scholarship.
Wow.
At some point of scholarship, we have never turned a qualified student away for lack of funds.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
How do you? Where does
I've always relied on the kindness of strangers.
The kindness of strangers.
Thank you, Tennessee Williams. But actually, it's community support, grant funding, fundraising, but we do our fundraising differently, and I'll tell you about that. Long Beach Gives. Huge impact, and every dollar counts. We do not put a whole lot into staffing. Most of our staff are volunteers. We put it all into the kids. We put it all into the kids and all into the community. How can we be of service? But that's how we do it. For those who become members of Musique Sur La Mer as a part of our guild, they become members of our guild. And it's cumulative. So you might start off in the guild as a music lover for $25. But over the years, the giving continues, and we make that cumulative so that we can get people all up to that emerald and the sapphire and the ruby and the diamond level where they appear as big donors, because they are. Because life is cumulative. Learning is cumulative, and so is giving.
That's an amazing outlook, and it's true. It's something that, as you said, I think, well, of course, but it never crossed my mind to think of it that way.
Yeah. And what we're looking at right now is we need to expand on our corporate giving. We want people who are looking to make not just a momentary impact, but a lifelong impact. Their gift, no matter how small or how large, has legs. It's a ripple effect. It's that little pebble in the pond that ripples and ripples and ripples out. Every student that we have is a pebble in the pond that ripples forward. We are now at the point where we have children of former members who are in I don't feel old at all. And they remember when my hair was dark. I'm embracing this. But it's the kindness, the generosity of the community that makes the impact. And it encourages us to go forward.
Yes. 100%. My goodness. And sorry, the sirens distracted me. So I went, oh no, should we stop?
No, that's the universal sign for an outdoor concert to start.
Oh, there we go.
If the wind blows, a siren goes on, a baby cries. It must be time to start the concert.
Yes, so true. Oh, it makes me think of when I'm at the theater, and it's, like the theaters in Hollywood or even in New York.
Yep.
And all of a sudden,
Always.
It's like, oh yeah, we're in the middle of On My Own in Les Miserables.
Exactly. Well, you're not on your own.
Quietest moment in the show, of course.
Always.
Oh, wow. So you mentioned Long Beach Gives. There may be some viewers out there that are not familiar with Long Beach Gives, so we will let you know what it is. It is very similar to like a Giving Tuesday, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, where all around the world this is celebrated, and people are donating to charities as a symbol of gratitude, as just for any reason, really. Some of them for tax write-offs. Doesn't really matter to us what your reason is. The fact is, when people do give, we are able to give back to the community. We meaning nonprofits. So Long Beach Gives is a day that was created by Julie Meenan and the nonprofit partnership here in the city of Long Beach. And there are other cities that do a giving day as well, but I think ours is one of the most successful.
Huge.
For sure. Have you been part of Long Beach Gives since the beginning?
I have. Not since the beginning, only for the past 4 years.
Okay.
And it has been a cornerstone for us.
It's amazing. This year, I think the first year they did it was in 2019. And the total number of nonprofits that were part of that were about 60 to 70, right in that range. And this year there are almost 250 nonprofits that are participating because it has been so wildly successful. It's the time where the community, businesses in the community have all stepped up and realized it's their chance to help make a difference. While they may not be part of one of these amazing nonprofits that live in the city of Long Beach, they can give to those nonprofits, and them doing so is enabling nonprofits such as Musique Sur La Mer to give back to the community and to the world. So they're making a difference right in your backyard. This year, Long Beach Gives is September 19th, is a Thursday. However, the window for early giving opens on September 12th, which is the Thursday before. So at that point, you can go on to the Long Beach Gives website, longbeachgives.org, and you can not only donate to Musique Sur La Mer, you can take a look at all 250-ish nonprofits that are participating in this fundraising campaign. You can filter by causes, of which there are 16 different causes, everything ranging from animal care to seniors, youth programs, homelessness, you name it. It's on there. And you can sort by that, you can sort by alphabetical order, and you don't have to give to just one organization. If you love the arts, I forget how many arts organizations there are, but you can give something to every one of them if you so choose. It's all up to you. Dig as deep as you can, because this is a chance to really make a difference in the community.
It really does. I know for Musique Sur La Mer, we encourage all of our partners who become partners with us on Long Beach Gives to spread the wealth. Spread the wealth. There are nonprofits in Long Beach that I personally donate to, because not only do they support us, I support their cause.
Absolutely.
And that we're in this together. We are not little islands unto ourselves.
No. And we're certainly not competition.
No, we're not. No. And this unity and this coming together as nonprofits empowers everybody. That's our strength right there.
So September 19th is a month away, almost exactly. But that doesn't mean you have to wait to donate to Musique Sur La Mer until that date. If you are so inclined today, because this amazing story right here that she's given today is that if it's moved you to jump and get your wallet out and grab that credit card, how do they find out where to donate to you, or even find out more about your programs, and maybe even if they want to become involved or they've got children that want to participate?
They can go to our website, www, of course, M as in Mary, S as in Sam, L as in Larry, M as in music, Orchestra. I had to take a second. MSLMorchestra.org. And on there you'll learn about our various programs, including our Musique Sur La Mer Youth Symphony Orchestra, the Honors Chamber Orchestra, La Petite Musique Training Orchestra, the Offshore Winds, which I just love that, for our Winds program, and our newest program, the Long Beach Youth Mariachis, also known as Música de la Playa, which is so much fun, and our Community String Orchestra. All of that's on our website, as well as a place to give. That we have a place where you can give through PayPal, use a credit card, and become a member of Musique Sur La Mer as a community sponsor.
And you don't even have to spell French to get to your website.
That's why we went
I
with
love that.
I know.
That was the first thing I thought. Oh, thank goodness I don't have to learn how to spell French.
Oh, please. We still laugh. We had just gotten so branded by the name. We didn't dare change it.
MSLMorchestra.org.
Correct.
Is how you can get to the website there. Marcy, this has been an amazing interview. So wonderful to talk with you. You and your organization are both inspirations.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course, of course. We would also like to extend a special thank you to Stage Explorations, Buell Brown, our producer, who is making this video for us, and the nonprofit partnership, who has allowed us to use their space to conduct the interviews for this part of the series. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch you next time on Coffee Talk with P3. Ciao for now.
Long Beach Theater needs your support. We hope you will consider donating on Long Beach Gives Day to all the theater and arts nonprofits that are participating in Long Beach Gives on September 19th. If you could donate to all the nonprofits participating with Long Beach Gives, that would be awesome too. Remember to mark your calendar and pass this date and video on to your work colleagues, family, and friends. Please support the Long Beach nonprofit community on September 19th. Go, 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 Long Beach Gives Day! To learn more about the Coffee Talk with P3 podcast and the nonprofit theater behind this podcast, go to the P3 Theater Company website at www.p3theater.biz. That's P3theatre.biz. And if you are a theater and arts nonprofit that would like to be highlighted on a Coffee Talk with P3 podcast, or you know a nonprofit that should be highlighted, please email me, John Peterson, at john@p3theater.biz. That's Jon John at p3theater.biz. We would love to start a conversation with you and your nonprofit. Looking forward to enjoying another coffee and discussion with you in the future. Long Beach Theater needs your support. We hope you will consider donating on Long Beach Gives Day to all the theater and arts nonprofits that are participating in Long Beach Gives on September 19th. If you could donate to all the nonprofits participating with Long Beach Gives, that would be awesome too. Remember to mark your calendar and pass this date and video on to your work colleagues, family, and friends. Please support the Long Beach nonprofit community on September 19th. Go, 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 Long Beach Gives Day!